Welcome back. This is the real X-Men, part 6. We are starting to warm up a little bit, and we're going to start seeing some of the powers that will be given to the Hebrews, the sons of Jacob. We've seen the origins. The origins were that all this derived from the raping of their sister. And in vengeance, Yah will grant them power to destroy those that oppose them, as you will see. If you have your book of Jasher out, turn to chapter 34. We are going to continue on verse 59. And let's continue. And Judah said unto Simeon and Levi, and unto all his brothers. Remember, Judah is the full brother of the marriage between Jacob and Leah. And strengthen yourselves and be sons of valor, for Yah our power is with us. Do not fear them. Stand forth each man, girt with his weapons of war, his bow and his sword, and we will go and fight against these uncircumcised men. Yah is our power. He will save us. And they rose up, and each girt on his weapons of war, great and small, 11 sons of Jacob, and all the servants of Jacob with them. Remember, Benjamin had not been born yet, so there was 11 of them. And all the servants of Isaac who were with Isaac in Hebron, all came to them equipped in all sorts of war instruments. And the sons of Jacob and their servants, being 112 men, went toward these kings, and Jacob also went with them. So out of the Hebrews, they had 112 men out of the Hebrews, 11 being the sons of Jacob, the ones with superpowers. But all Hebrews have it. But we will focus on these Jacob's sons right here. 112 men. And the sons of Jacob sent unto their father Isaac the son of Abraham to Hebron, the same as Kiriath Arba, saying, Land of giants. Pray, we beseech thee, for us unto Yah our power, to protect us from the hands of the Canaanites, who are coming against us, and to deliver them into our hands. So the power is obviously coming through Yah. And Isaac the son of Abraham prayed unto Yah for his sons. And he said, O Yah, thy power, thou didst promise my father, saying, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven. And thou didst also promise me, and establish thou thy word. Now the kings of Canaan are coming together to make war with my children, because they committed no violence. Now therefore, O Yah, power of the whole earth, pervert, I pray thee, the counsel of these kings, that they may not fight against my sons, and impress the hearts of these kings and their people with the terror of my sons, and bring down their pride, and that they may turn away from my sons. And with thy strong hand and outstretched arm deliver my sons and their servants from them, for power and might are in thy hands to do all this. So we see the patriarch, one of the patriarchs, praying to Yah to deliver his sons, his enemies, into their hands. Remember, the power always comes from Yah. And the sons of Jacob and their servants went toward these kings, and they trusted in Yah their power. And whilst they were going, Jacob their father also prayed unto Yah and said, O Yah, thy power, powerful and exalted power, who has reigned from days of old, from thence till now and forever. Thou art he who stirreth up wars, and causeth them to cease. Now we also know who causes wars. Wars isn't caused by man. Sometimes the Most High stirs up wars for a purpose. In thy hand are power and might to exalt and to bring down. O may my prayer be acceptable before thee, that thou mayest turn to me with thy mercies, to impress the hearts of these kings and their people with the terror of my sons, and terrify them and their camps, and with thy great kindness deliver all those that trust in thee. For it is thou who canst bring people under us, and reduce nations under our power. So you see here that we know who's in control. Whether starting wars or creating peace, we know who's in control. It is the Most High, and he'll deliver whoever he wants to deliver, or however he wants the situation to go down, he'll deliver that. So if you're reading along with me, we are now in Jasher chapter 35, verse 1. And all the kings of the Amorites came and took their stand in the field. Remember, I believe the Amorites were giants. Not all of them were giants, but the ones that's in control are giants. Came and took their stand in the field to consult with their counselors what was to be done with the sons of Jacob. For they were still afraid of them, saying, Behold, 2 of them slew the whole of the city of Shechem. And Yah heard the prayers of Isaac and Jacob, and he filled the hearts of all these kings' advisors with great fear and terror, that they unanimously exclaimed, Are you silly this day? Or is there no understanding in you, that you will fight with the Hebrews? And why will you take a delight in your own destruction this day? Remember, it's only 112 of these Hebrews against the whole cities of these Canaanitish cities. 112 against all these hosts, and they're scared. I should tell you something. Behold, 2 of them came to the city of Shechem without fear or terror, and they killed all the inhabitants of the city, that no man stood up against them. And how will you be able to fight with them all? Surely you know that their power is exceedingly fond of them, and has done mighty things for them, such as have not been done from days of old. And amongst all the gods of nations, there is none can do like unto his mighty deeds. So not only were they doing pagan practices, or these Nephilim practices, but they knew of the Most High. They know they're the fallen ones. They're doing the fallen angel religion. They have to know of the Most High, even though they don't praise him, but they know of him and they know what he can do. Surely he delivered their father Abraham, the Hebrew. Again, Hebrew is the thing. From the hand of Nimrod, and from the hand of all his people who had many times sought to slay him. Remember, it's a lot of times through Abraham's life, man, that it wasn't all hunky-dory, you know. It was trials and tribulations for Abraham. He delivered him also from the fire in which King Nimrod had cast him, and he and his power delivered him from it. And who else can do the like? Surely it was Abraham who slew the 5 kings of Elam, when they had touched his brother's son, who in those days dwelt in Sodom. We're talking about Lot. When he came into Elam, and those Shelamar and all those kings tried to stand up against Abraham, and he pursued them, and they tried to hide, and he slew all of them. And took his servant that was faithful in his house, and a few of his men, and they pursued the kings of Elam in one night, and killed them, and restored to his brother's son all his property, which they had taken from him. And surely you know the power of these Hebrews is much delighted with them, and they are also delighted with him, for they know that he delivered them from all their enemies. And behold, through his love toward his power, Abraham took his only and precious son, and intended to bring him up as a burnt offering to his power. And had it not been for power who prevented him from doing this, he would have done it through his love to his power. And the power saw all his works, and swore unto him, and promised him that he would deliver his sons and all his seed from every trouble that would befall them, because he had done this thing, and through his love to his power stifled his compassion for his son, for his child. And have you not heard what their power did to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to Abimelech, king of Gerar, through taking Abraham's wife, who said of her, She is my sister, lest they might slay him on account of her, and think of taking her for a wife? And the power did unto them and their people all that you heard of. So we see that there was written recordings, and they recorded everything that had happened of these Hebrews. They knew of the Hebrew God, even though they was practicing their own religions. They knew of the Hebrew God. They knew he is the true creator. They don't want to mess with them. At least they have sense. And I can't wait to get to the parts in this where they started tearing these Canaanite places up, man. It's going to be unbelievable, and there is no doubt in the world where the inspiration of these comic book characters come from. From these 112 men, these Hebrew men that went against these Canaanite cities. Some of them were giants too. Amorites were giants. Look it up. All right. Shalom.